Joe and Jason, happy Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I'm excited. Why? Because it's Thursday. One more day. It'll be Friday. The weather, not as hot. We'll take it. We'll take it. My wife and I were walking last night, and I actually didn't feel like I was going to die. So that's a good thing. We got World Cup, Team USA today, for those of you that care about that. That will be going on. Other than that, a whole lot to talk about. What happened? What about this huge sell-off in gold and silver and Kevin Warsh and all this stuff? Guys, I'm going to tell you, get ready. Take advantage. Yeah, I know for those of you that have to sell, it sucks. Get it. Add. And I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons why. Later in the show, we're going to spend we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot. And tomorrow. So today and tomorrow, probably going to be, don't miss, if you want to really get caught up on what the heck just happened, right? What's going on? What's really going on? We had the crypto talk yesterday, and we focused a lot on Orem yesterday. I will tell you, I have one major spot left. These we talked yesterday. It's at least $10,000. You can do more, but come in with 10. I want you to understand, because maybe stuff got lost in translation. This is. You don't even have to do it. It would be great if you did. You don't have to sign anybody up. Nothing. I'll do it all for you. Having said that, for those of you, well, gosh, Joe, I only have 10, right? I can do 500. I can do 1,000. Maybe I can do 2,500, $5,000. Get in now, because here's how this is going to work. All underneath these four people, right? There's four really good smaller spots. So that's 16 smaller spots. And again, same thing. I want you to understand the math behind, at least. I can't do the real complicated stuff. All as I'm telling you is you sign up with me in these spots, you're going to be able to earn more than the minimum. But let's just talk about the minimum. The minimum in how they structured this, 6 months you have your money back, right? That's what I was doing. As you guys know, I signed up in January. Well, here we are. I got almost to July, I got my money back. And now I'm going to make sure that we're going to try to do better than that. That's what makes this more appealing than any other time is you're going to have the ability to get your money back faster. Could be as fast as 90 days, depending on what you do, reinvesting and all that other stuff. But that's what we have. So we have one $10,000 spot. Then we have 16 of the smaller spots. So 800-951-0592 to do that. Remember, it's about $91 to get started. So figure that into your thinking. Text it Iskander. Okay, so right now, obviously, we're not selling seats in Texas. And text it. And hopefully, listen, I'll tell, and I've been telling everyone that's been talking to me about it, I really hope, this is my fingers crossed hope, is we meet with the state of Texas and they say, okay, got it, you're not a fraud. That's great. We still didn't like, how you had set it up originally. So pay a fine and just don't sell any more Texit seats. That's what I'm hoping for. That'll be the best thing for all of us, right? Obviously, that would mean we don't get diluted. But Iskander, I will tell you right now, I hope you don't miss it. Buy 3, get 2 free. If you're looking, I know, all right, I'm going to take a shot at this thing. Joe's in it, right? I'm going to be the guy that watches the money for everybody. And as I told you, I'm going to fight to the tooth and nail here because I believe that this thing is needed everywhere. What business doesn't want to save 3%? Tell me. What town doesn't want to keep their money local? And, wait, I can earn the interest on the unspent money? Yeah, sign me up. Listen, guys, it is. And we're ready. We're ready now. So if you want to get in, the deal right now, buy 3 seats, get 2 seats for free. And we've had a lot of people signing up. So as you know, right, the more people sign up, you get a few less coins. I think we're down to like 5 coins a day now. So, but stock it early. If you want to do that, 800-951-0592. Now, let's get to it. What in the world happened yesterday that led to the big sell-off in gold and silver? And I will tell you, it was a whole lot of lip service. But we got some data today. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what we see coming. And wait till I tell you how much money the Treasury has been pumping into the market. Yeah, get ready. We'll be back. 800-951-0592. The Dow's up 350. The S&P's down 10. The Nasdaq's down 235. Apple lowering the Nasdaq as they've been increasing prices really for the last several weeks now. The 10-year note, this is what we need to pay attention to. So the 10-year note down to 4.39. How? How is this happening? Right. Well, how is the dollar going up and yet the 10-year note is falling? It's interesting. And it really felt big yesterday. Why? Because here's what the bond market knows. Kevin Warsh and Scott Bessent are full of crap. Now, I don't want to say they're lying, because they're not. They're talking real tough. I don't know, is it coincidence that the war ended a day or two before the first Fed meeting of Kevin Warsh's administration? I mean, the war, ended. It was a Friday where, okay, we got a deal. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, the next week, the Fed has their meeting and Kevin Warsh comes out and acts like, I'm going to get the price stability, inflation, this and that, and the markets, he's going to raise rates, Be a little smarter. Now, what does that? It does affect how the computers do the trading. See, there's not as much manual buying of stocks and bonds and gold and silver, pretty much everything. It's done by bots that they program. And they're very sophisticated. They look for certain words. Right? And they hear Kevin Warsh talk tough about inflation and how he's going to, he was doing his Paul Volcker impersonation. They got a lot of paper, gold, and silver to sell, a lot of it. It's a gift to the silver market right now because the ETFs are unloading some of the silver. So at least the silver shortage in the very short term is under control. Get ready. As soon as they come back in, right? We're going to see another significant spike in the price. Look at the Chinese, right? They don't care what the computers do. They love it. They bought 163 metric tons last month. I wonder how much they're buying this month. Got to remember, don't forget, you don't think all of this stuff is connected. It is. But do you think the Chinese just miraculously decided, you know what? We just bought 163 metric tons of gold. I got an idea. Let's make it even easier for our banks to buy more gold. Because that's what they did starting when? Oh, June 1st. Oh, wow. That's just, what great luck. No luck needed. No luck needed. But why is, if we're allegedly going to raise rates, because that's what they're telling us, right? Yes. Then how did the 10-year note go from 460 to 440? Really, right now, 439. They ain't raising any rates. Here's what the bond market knows. Okay, guys. Gas prices in Arizona went from $4.99 to $3.99. The worst of the inflation is probably over. Now, yes, listen, are we going back to 2%? Not a chance. Not a chance. Are we going to get inflation numbers this month that say 4+? Yes. Yes, we are. But the bet is it won't get worse than that. Starting with today, the Fed's favorite inflation number, the PCE, as they like to call it, came out today, and as expected, headline CPE up 0.4%. But here's the good news. That was a tenth lighter than they were expecting. 4.1% year over year. That was in line. So what all that tells you is it was probably 4.48, because they didn't have to round it up to 4.5, but 4.1, the highest going back to 2003. So, yeah, pretty high for this number. Like I said, why is it the Fed's favorite? Because it's the deflator. Right? They take out a lot of stuff. Basically, what do they take out? All the stuff that got expensive. The core, right? Somehow that's better. Like, I wish we could tell that to people. Like, go to the store and say, oh, I'm sorry. I'm shopping under the core inflation. Because what's not in the core? Well, food and energy. Right? Hey, can I get the core inflation price up 0.3%, 3.4%? So that's better, right? It's not 4, it's 3.4. By the way, that was the highest level since you guessed it, 2003. So here's what's happening. The whole world knows that Kevin Warsh is full of crap. They do. Unfortunately, they're not going to program the bots to say he's full of crap. But just look at the bond market. The bond market is telling you they're not raising rates. Why? Well, because after this month, most of the inflation, they'll come down. They won't get worse. Oh, well, it went from, the regular inflation. It went from, 3.8 to 3.6. And, of course, and we're forecasting that it'll gradually go back down. So we won't have to raise. I'm telling you that's what's going to happen. In the meantime, did they get the paper selling in the ETFs? Yeah, they did. And guess what? It's all going to be bought. I saw a thing now where they're saying 75% of all GDP growth in the United States now is AI. And around AI, because AI is a lot of stuff. It's data warehousing. Figure AI like the best data mining thing they've ever invented. Because that's really what it is. Right? Oh, we can teach it. Teach it what? Well, to go and look at all kinds of data and then formulate opinions or facts or whatever it may be. Guess what? All of that stuff needs. All of it. I'm without exception. Copper and silver. And lots of it. By the way, guess what else is coming? Robots. Heck, the Chinese, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the Chinese? They got a robot goalie. He's pretty good. They're coming. What do they all need? Take advantage right now. U.S. Silver Eagles, $1,300. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take $5 off. $1,350 on a roll of U.S. Silver Eagles today. How about this for gold? Ready? This should get you excited. Mint State 63 $20 St. Gaudens. Right? And I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but most people think the Saint is a prettier coin than the Liberty, right? The Liberty, the side profile, Lady Liberty's face. The Saint, that's that full-bodied Lady Liberty. They use that design for the Silver Eagle, right? Mint State 63. What does that mean? That means it was handed to a professional. You know what? This is very common now. All of us, used to be, what does that mean? Back in the 80s and the 90s. Now most people kind of know. It's like baseball cards, anything collectible. They have grading services. And the prettier your collectible is, the least amount of imperfections makes it more valuable. Look at, you've seen the shows on the TV, right? They go through hoarders' houses and they're pulling all this stuff out and most of it's trash, but the stuff, oh, hey, there's some money here. What condition is it in? The better the condition, the more it's worth. Well, we sell circulated 20s. Why? Because you're buying gold for the gold content. Don't pay more, right? I look at gold today. So gold's up today, right? Gold's up 30 plus bucks, 4,033. Silver got to 55 yesterday, bounced off, now 85.25. Now, these Mint State 63s that I've been talking to you about, we sell circulated, right? Then they have things XF, VF, extra fine, very fine. By the way, nobody knows the difference between a circulated, extra fine, very. I've been doing this 23 years. I still can't tell you. Then they have AU, almost uncirculated. Right? In other words, those first four categories, hey, that got used as real money. Somebody paid something. I went to the hardware store. They went to the supermarket. Kind of hard. $20 back in the 1900s. Right? You're buying something pretty expensive. So something that more than, hey, I'm taking the family out to dinner. Think about it today. You can barely take yourself out. Well, if you go fast food, you can feed yourself for $20, but that's about it. Back then, no, come on. But it got used. And then they go into stuff that they're like, I don't even think this got out into circulation, sat in these bank vault bags. Those, the kind you see in the Wild West movies, the old school movies with the brown burlap bags. Listen, that's what they were. They put 1,000 $20 gold pieces in one of those. Probably weighed more than a case of silver. A case of silver is pretty heavy. But no, 1,000 of them. And you got to remember, it was the Saints, 1908 to 1933, so the automobile was kind of new. Some of these probably went on stagecoaches still. They got put on ships. A lot of this went to Europe. But they never made it out of the bag. Talk about that next. And the price. Mint State 63, $20 Saints. The same price, $41.95 as a regular 20. Yes, ma'am, 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. Well, Jason will be here eventually. He's got stuff going on. $20 Mint State 63 St. Gaudens. So I was telling you, we have circulated, XFVF. No one knows the difference. AU, you kind of know. AU's like, whoa, hey, that's a pretty nice looking coin. Right? Then they have brilliant uncirculated. So brilliant uncirculated probably could be a graded coin. And even the AUs, a bunch of AUs probably could be graded. Mint State. But the cost of the grade doesn't make it worth it. Essentially, right now, if it doesn't grade out at least a Mint State 63, they don't waste their time. Because it's expensive to grade coins. Now, it used to be $8. When I started 24 years ago, it was $8 to grade a coin. Now it's like, like $30. Yeah. And if you're a bigger grader, then, you're sending lots of coins in, you get a little volume discount. So, brilliant uncirculated. Now, I'm not going to count, there's coins that are graded. You got to get to Mint State 60. So, think about 0 to 10, 10 being perfect. In pre-1933 gold, there's no such thing as a Mint State 70. None. Mint State 69? Mint State 68? Nope. Mint State 67? I think there's a couple. There's a handful of those. So essentially, when you talk about gold, graded gold, you're really talking about 60 to 66. So 63 is kind of right in the middle of it. So, brilliant uncirculated, that's level 5. Mint State 60, that's 6. Mint State 61, 7. Mint State 62, 8. Mint State 63, that's 9 grades. Right? What does that mean? That just means these coins got put into a bag with 1,000 other $20 gold pieces. They went somewhere from the mint. They left the mint. How did they leave? I don't know. Stagecoach, maybe. Car, maybe. Right? In a truck bed, who knows? And they went to a bank, or they went to the port, right? Why? Because they were getting put on ships, right, to head to Europe, because the Europeans were buying a lot of, because, listen, the United States, we were like the China of the world back then. So the Europeans would get some gold, and then they'd turn around, right, and buy more stuff from us later. But it didn't get into the pocket of the everyday person. And really, the everyday person didn't have $20 gold pieces. Right? Didn't get into the pocket of the rich guys. Right? Let's just say that, right? The upper middle class and the upper class didn't have these particular $20 St. Gaudens in their pockets. And these bags got bounced around. You can imagine, right? We didn't have, listen, the highway system wasn't built back then, right?
Trains,
yeah. Thank you, Jason. Trains, right? These bags got slung around. The coins that were on the bottom, the coins that were on the sides and the top, because the bags just got tossed haphazardly all over the place. They got dinged up. Call them coin marks.
They call them
right,
bag marks. They call them bag marks.
Yeah.
Bag marks.
Yeah. Right? What does that mean? Well, it didn't get into circulation, but it was on the outsides of the bag, so they got beat up more than the ones that were kind of in the middle. Right? And that's where these 63s lived. In the middle. If you took these Treasury bags, and you had 1,000 coins, 300 of them weren't even gradable. That's how dinged up they got. Okay, they're uncirculated, right? They got too many bag marks, right? The next 400 or 500 of them were somewhere between mint state 60, 61, 62s. Maybe you had 163s and 50 64s and 20 65s and 2 or 3 66s. That was it. So these are really, really nice looking coins. They're encapsulated by PCGS and NGC. Those are the primo grading. This isn't Bob's grading service. You can take these coins anywhere, and there is no doubt to what you have. None. And they're $4,195. And gold is $4,030. By the way, the same price as a circulated $20 St. Gaudens. One of the things that I noticed too, and Jason, I'm sure you did too, all of a sudden, for the first time this year, gold and silver premiums went up over the last few days. It's another good sign, right? That we hopefully here, we'll see. Like, we cautioned you yesterday, right? We can see more downside here. It can happen. But take your lead from the bond market. The bond market is saying, don't believe the bull. Get in here. So mint state 63 Saints. What a great price, dude. $4,195 at 800-951-0592. We also, here we go. Let's talk about money now. First, the Trump administration. $88 billion for war funding. And, of course, what did they put in there with it? Some farm aid and Ebola response, because, we got all that Ebola here. So $88 billion of more spending coming out of the government. And then when we get back, how much money are we printing? We're going to take a look at the M2 money supply. And has the Treasury Department, what have they been up to in manipulating gold in the bond market? We'll talk about that when we get back. 800-951-0592. God, we got great specials today. Mint State 63 Saints, $41.95. Wow, it's insane. We didn't start selling regular $20 gold pieces for $41.95 until yesterday. All year, $41.95. Rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles, $1,350. You know what? Here's what's funny. There shouldn't be a line in, but there is. Sad. Or just a quick update again. And I talked about it earlier today. So I got one 10,000 spot left. I'm down to 14 smaller spots. Get in. 800-951-0592. 0592. So what's going on? Well, something very interesting. See, the Treasury has to release reports, quarterly, they call it quarterly refunding statements. And in their latest one, they said that they're going to purchase $38 billion in runoff securities. So what does that mean? Maturities that are coming due that obviously foreign governments are like, yeah, we're not going to renew. Yeah, just give us our money. $38 billion worth. By the way, and another $25 billion in 1 month up to 2 years for what they call cash management purposes. Even the Treasury doesn't keep money in the bank, right? Now, I'm okay with the cash management purchase stuff. I am. Okay? Hey, if I don't need the money today, let me buy a quick 30-year note or a 30-day note. Okay, fine. $38 billion in long term. Do you guys know now that the Treasury in the last year, all by themselves, $427 billion in easing for the bond market? What? Remember, the Federal Reserve was doing quantitative tightening until they couldn't do it anymore? Well, let's follow the money. The M2 money supply. See, they don't like to put this out there, but I got ways of finding stuff. I know where to look. Jason and I have been telling you, boy, there's so much money being pumped in, but you don't know because it's quiet. We don't know. Oh, the Treasury. They're buying what? $63 billion of treasuries every month? I mean, do math. That's outrageous. And by the way, every quarterly statement, the number grows. We're going to cut rates. What a bunch of crap. Or I'm sorry, raise rates. What about, they're going to cut rates. I'm telling you. But anyway, do you know the money supply just in the last year is up almost 6% year over year? Do you know that's the biggest increase in the money supply since COVID? Yeah, since COVID. Oh, by the way, the president just asked for $88 billion more, so let's add some more. Let's add some more. And think about this. Scott Bassett had to go out on TV and say, I think we can get GDP to 3% by the end of the year. Wait a minute. So if we're going to grow the money supply by 6% and we're only going to get 3% growth, Jason, that dog doesn't hunt for very long.
It's fighting depression is what it is. It's fighting recession. That's the whole point of money printing, especially in the modern age, is to keep a gigantic market crash from happening. Nobody wants to suffer the pain of a gigantic market crash. I think the burn of the housing crash has just freaked out a lot of these bankers, right, Joe? And they're going to have to let the pressure out of the tire at some point. They're either going to pop the tire or you got to let the pressure out. You let the pressure out, that's a recession. The tire blows up, that's a depression, right, Joe? And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want to, as long as the common folk don't get in the line. The common folk are getting a little restless, right? We're getting a little unruly with our speech and how we're talking about things. Maybe, they just slam a big old depression right on top of our heads, Joe. Maybe that's the goal. We'll just let it all out at once, and you guys can really experience a little pain and suffering. I don't know, Joe, but it sure seems like they're going to keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And those numbers that all this is coming off what Joe just said: printing of 6% and a GDP of 3%.
Well, they're hoping, right?
Yeah.
We can get there.
I think they might get it. The way they're doing this, Joe, I think they might get their 3%. They might get it.
I think they should. I agree. I think the third quarter GDP is going to be really, really good. But
you got to go back to what Joe said. They're printing 6%.
That's right.
They're papering over the situation. And Joe, I don't know how much longer they can do that. I don't know.
We're going to find out. I think that's right. That's all. That's the $1 million question. Jason and I, we see things very similar in that regard. We've been telling you we did not see this in 2020. We met about how many times we said stock market's going to go up. Why? Because they're printing this money. I think for me, is it 2027 or 2028? That's the only question. That's my question. We don't get to 2030. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. Final segment. Coming up next. 800-951-0592. Get your gold put away. Get your silver put away. Bin State 6320s, 41.95. Roll the silver equals 1350. Get your Iskander. Buy 3, get 2 free. Get your Orem. Get ready. I do want to throw this out there. I don't know. So Bitcoin broke below 59. I got to 58,000. It's just above 59,000 right now. According to Bloomberg, there's $10 billion in Bitcoin options that are set to expire at 4 p.m. Friday in Singapore. I don't know who holds it. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But I would say the same thing with the Bitcoin thing, right? If it falls below, it falls again, maybe you buy an opportunity there on this option. So you never know with the option stuff. You never know.
I think a lot of Bitcoin was sacrificed to buy SpaceX. So when a larger sell-off of SpaceX happens, I think Bitcoin jumps tremendously. And I'll tell you right now, Bitcoin tends to do really good in September. Yeah. Right when school starts. When school starts, Bitcoin starts to so it gets getting.
So we'll see, but I'll throw that out there.
Yeah,
we're doing
the timing
more stuff in
seems
the
right.
crypto space.
Yep.
By the way, gold is now up 4,041. So that deal gets even better. Silver up $1.20, 58.57, making $1.23. Again, 800-951-0592. Keep adding here. Just know this. Listen, nothing has changed other than words. And coincidence, I don't know. Oh, wait, war's over. And then, by the way, here comes Kevin Warsh, and he's going to tell you how tough he is about inflation, knowing that they're like, okay, well, after June, the inflation number should at least stop going up, right? They're going to stop going up and probably just stay in that 3% range, and they're really not going to do anything other than figure out a way, because I told you what Kevin Warsh's plan is. His plan is very simple. Figure out a way to get the inflation number to be even less. How do you do that? Well, we'll just change how we calculate. That's what they're doing. Listen, they're putting these task force together for one reason. Figure out a way to try to pull the eyes and the wool over the eyes of the American people for a little while longer. Their best number they've got said headline inflation was over 4% today. You know what that means? It's really probably, 8, right? I mean, if we're guessing. I mean, I don't know. Now that we're empty nesters, I used to, coach basketball. We were always taking our kids here and there and this and that and blah, blah, blah. My wife and I, we do stuff that I normally don't ever, I go to the supermarket, right? I go to the department stores. Hey, I'm going to go, all right, I'll go with you. Get some steps in. Wow, is stuff expensive. I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't even look at meat anymore. I don't even want to look at it, I might have to go Jason. I'm gonna have to go vegan. I don't know. 800. Nah, I'm not doing that. 800-951-0592.